today's topic, phonetics. Phonetics is the description of all possible speech sounds, what humans can produce, whether it's p, t, k, sh, s, or African language that use. So what range of speech sounds do humans produce using the tools that they've got? This is potentially independent of specific languages, but obviously you can't do it without looking at various languages. But the general question in phonetics is always about considering the anatomy of the human being. What sounds do they produce, and how do they do it? Phonetics in itself is part of the field of use, because it's about the actual production of sounds and the actual perception of real speakers in real contexts. But it is rudimentary and basic and elementary to phonology, to the structure of sounds, so that we've got to start with that first. So phonology then is always the speech system of a specific language. You look at one language and it's phonology. The idea there is that these sounds work as a system. If you think back to last week, system has got units and they've got functions in that system. And there were two ways of identifying those, paradigmatic choice relationships and these horizontal syntagmatic relationships. So which sounds can occur in the same slot and which sounds occur together as a gang, so to speak. And phonology you can only always do with respect to a single language system. So this is part of structure, and what it helps you to find out is which sounds have got a function in that specific language. The sounds and don't have a function in German, okay? They do not distinguish meaning. On the other hand, in English, the and see, there's a difference in meaning. The might be the old term that you find in Shakespeare for addressing someone instead of you, and see is obviously the sea. Okay? So in English, this sound has got a function. In English, it hasn't got a function. Phonetics would just look at the sound and say, okay, you've got to do this with your tongue, put it there in your mouth, use air in this and that way, and you will get the sound. Phonology asks the questions, in German, does the sound play a function in the system? Is it used systematically? And again, just showing you how this ties in with what we had last week and a bit of revision, Saussure distinguished long as the abstract linguistic system shared by all speakers of a speech community. And the units we found and their relationships, paradigmatic, syntagmatic functions. That is what phonology is all about. Phonology is part of long, of that system, and the methods that we saw there apply. Parole, on the other hand, are all utterances of the speakers in a speech community. And phonetics is part of parole. It's what people actually do. You can use a tape recorder, you can do X-rays, fMRIs,